Good evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you may be around the world. Ali Midawi in here, under the weather, with a crazy eye. Looked like I was just boxing with Rocky Balboa. Well, since we've met last in a live session in your strategic partner show, Kanye West was still a billionaire. Kyrie Irving had some crazy moves and was making a whole lot of noise. And definitely the elections are over. Therefore, there's no more negativity that's going to be hitting you and I in every ad spend that we are seeing day and night. Today, we got a world-renowned speaker, master of his training, coaching, classes, books, and I can go on and on and on. And of course, I will be introducing him the proper way. But today, more than ever, I am super excited because we are your strategic partners. This is your strategic partner show, and you will never ever forget about this episode. Let's get ready to go. Let's go.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, strategic partners. What's going on? We've been prepping. We've been getting ready. We have a show for the ages, and I am super excited. Let me bring before you the one and only Tokoyo Carlton, live from North Carolina. What's up, boss? How you doing today?
Hey, man, super excited, man. Back at it, man, like we never left, man. I'm so excited to be here again, man. It's been so long. It feels like it's been a year already. But again, that means we just have so much more info, so much more impact that we can give to you guys. So I'm excited, man.
Love it. Of course, the one and only, the beautiful. She just graduated college about 2.5 years ago. Debbie Peltola Salmons. What's going on, Rockstar?
Oh my gosh, I'm just like Tokoyo, so excited to be here. It feels like it's been a year. It's fantastic. I mean, all of us, we took this time, I know this, individually to really work on ourselves and to get things together and come back out here and give more value to everybody that we can. So I'm excited to be back at it.
Amen to that. And of course, the one you love to love, the rock star herself, my Jersey sister, Jamaica, United States, coming together in the one and only, the great investor, the great entrepreneur, the rock star, the dreamable CEO herself, Elizabeth Cousins. What's up, sis?
Hey, thank you. I am so glad to be back. I'm also excited to be back with the family and to do this live again. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, today, as you all know, we have an incredible rock star. He is, and I mean, I got to be honest with you, his CV, his resume, his bio, I can be here for a whole show if I were to really go over all the great contribution to life, to humanity, to business that this young man, and I insist on young because he's got plenty of life to go. If you are an entrepreneur, you're going to love him. If you are a human being who is not an entrepreneur yet, you're going to fall in love with him. His methodology, his philosophy, the way he does life, his education, his mastery. See, this gentleman, and I want you to see his smile as I tell you about him. This gentleman, he goes by the name of Rex Sikes, and Rex is recognized by peers, colleagues, and students as the mindset master, the attitude doctor. Mr. Sikes has over 4 decades experience helping countless thousands transform their minds, lives, and pocketbooks as well. He is a master authority on neuro-linguistic programming, aka NLP, and how the brain works, the whole brain, and accelerated learning. the law of attraction. You know I'm in love with that. And he is a master hypnotherapist and master hypnotist. Plus, he is the founder of Idea Seminars. His innovations includes mind design and directed questions, the Attitude Activator, and the Mastery Loop. He conducts online programs in transformation, mind design, manifesting, and the law of attraction. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this man has the absolute authority to create real change. Every time you hear the name Rex Sikes, it's the same league of the Joe Vitale, the same leagues of the late Bob Proctor, the same league of the Les Browns of the world, the same league of those that we admire, inspire. And this young man has absolutely put an impact on myself. I've had the privilege to share the stage with him, the virtual stage that is, on the Can You Think and Grow Rich webinars. And I also have had the privilege to be on his show on the Los Angeles Tribune. And here we are today for the very first time, excuse me, history in the making, ladies and gentlemen. Rex Sikes is in your strategic partner show. So let's give him a whole lot of virtual love. Let's make this virtual word make a whole lot of noise, and let's bring him on. Mr. Sikes, how are you today? We are so excited to have you.
Wow. Well, after that, I'm just even so much more excited and delighted. Thank you. I'm humbled. I truly am humbled by the people who are here virtually on this platform, Takoya, Debbie, and Elizabeth, and yourself, Ali. I'm thrilled, and I'm thrilled to be here to connect with the people who watch your show. I fell in love with you back at the Can You Really Think and Grow Rich tour, the virtual summit we first had. I said, I have to have you on my show. We've got to get to know each other, and we have, and we do, and we will continue to. And I met Elizabeth at that very same tour. And so now here we are together on your show, and I'm vibrating high, and I'm really excited. So I'm yours.
Let me take a break real quick here because Ali needs some water. So if you can take a sip, sir, because when he was going through all those accolades that you've had, he lost a little voice at the end. I don't know if y'all caught that, but thank you. I'm glad he got some water. Okay, good.
I told you I could probably go for a whole show just on introducing this young man. I truly can, and I appreciate you for that. So let's get into today's show. And Rex, you know, in many cases, and I want to get right into the meat and potato, and of course my strategic partners in here are going to be chiming in. We're pretty much going to be fighting over you. It's like I lost light.
Oh, lost light.
No, it's all right. You can see me still, right? I'll turn it on in a second.
Can.
But here's my question to you, Rex. You know, when you fall, you got to still keep on dancing. You make it part of the dance. My question to you, Rex, is simply this. For those who have a sense of a little bit of hesitancy about hypnotherapy or the law of attraction or the non-physical power that we all have, but some of us are aware of it and some are not, what is your take on that as a topic and as a leading subject for the uneducated? And I would love for you to take a few minutes, of course, to also elaborate on what led you to get to where you are in life.
Wow, well, that's so beautiful a question. And it really is, because there are a lot of people who either are afraid or don't understand or don't know, you know, and that's not uncommon. I mean, a lot of people fear the unknown or fear change. But that said, let me just speak about the Bible for a second. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes. People believe different things, but let me put it to you this way: a lot of people think the Bible is about sin and about hell and about transgression and, you know, and salvation and everything else. And fine, okay. But in the Bible, if you were to count things up and go, what is the Bible really about? It says, "Fear not." More than anything else, it says, "Be not afraid, fear not, rejoice, celebrate, be grateful, give praise, you know, and rejoice." I mean, it is truly about being happy and celebrating and living life abundantly, knowing the peace that passeth all understanding, knowing that you can have a cup that's filled to overflowing, an abundance that's pressed down, you know, and shaken together and overflow. I mean, it's you know, so whether it's hypnosis, which is simply communication, essentially. I mean, let's take the mystery out of it. Everybody thinks it's about, you know, some kind of mind manipulation, everything else. Hypnosis is talking. You know, if I talk to you about, you know, my favorite bagel shop or something like that, and you go, "Oh my God, I have to have a bagel," and you run over to any bagel shop and grab a bagel, essentially that's hypnosis. Now, that's just the kind of hypnosis that's used in friends talking about movies or bagels or things that they like and they enjoy. Because, if I have something that I want to share with somebody, I want to share my favorite place or this or that or the other thing, I'm going to do whatever I can to share it from my own enthusiasm, my own experiences. And that's really what hypnosis is about. We think Svengali and, movies and all that kind of stuff. But it is, it is influence. It's using language to help influence people to, as far as I'm concerned, to connect people up with their resources, with possibilities and opportunities. I can't say that everybody practices hypnosis that way, but ideally that's what it's about. And you and I, each of us on the planet are, if you could figure out who you really were and who you really are, your infinite potential, your infinite resourcefulness, your infinite energy, your infinite goodness and kindness and all these things, covered perhaps by layers of conditioning, from our society and those around us. So if you use hypnosis or the law of attraction or manifestation or any of the kind of tools, is simply there to help you release and let go of the things that might hold you back from being your authentic self, to discover who you really are and how wonderful the world is. And the fact that you get to be alive on this planet right now to begin to celebrate anything and everything is incredible. It's a fast, and most people don't go there. Most people are like, oh, I got to drag my butt out of bed, and if I don't have enough coffee, and I need donuts, or I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm stupid, and they got all these messages that they could better off release and just enjoy life.
Yeah,
right. Would
I
you
want to
agree?
get up and dance right now. I just want you guys to know I want to get up and dance because
And I encourage you to do that.
Yes. Because that's life. That's life, Rex.
Yeah.
Right on. I could dance right now. Thank you.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. So listen, I'm listening to you speak there. And one of the things I picked up is that you talk about self-talk. That's a form of hypnosis as well, because people are talking negatively about themselves on a daily basis. And at some point you start to believe what you speak about. So I think that's, we're all hypnotists if we use that word. I mean, so that's what I kind of got out of what you just said there.
No, and you're right. And the greatest hypnosis that's ever been done is the stuff that you do on yourself. Absolutely, absolutely. But here's the cool news, Takoya. If you learned how to be negative and down and bad and harmful to yourself, you can learn to be good and beautiful and praiseful and celebratory towards yourself. It's just a matter of direction.
That's like when somebody says, "I don't believe in affirmations." Well, that's an affirmation. Yeah, like you just literally did an affirmation. You just told yourself what you want to believe and acted on it. That's what an affirmation really is. Now, that's so powerful. Fun fact: the first time I got hypnotized, I was trying to prove that hypnosis doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
It was 2013. It was in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. It was actually in North American Power, Takoyo. And the VP of sales and actually it was the director of sales, Vanessa Jackson. If you're watching, Vanessa, love you, sis. And we're sitting up front. We're like, this crap doesn't work. Let's go and prove him wrong. Let's just go and just show him like he got nothing on us, right? People are just pretending. Well, we get on stage. She and I ended up the show for an hour and a half, literally for an hour and a half. So much so that they had to take her to her room and lay her down to sleep because she could not it was very, for her, it was very, very impactful. And I mean, listen, Takoya, you know me. I keep to myself a lot, right? Like, I'm like, I'm all for the people, but I'm not going to clown myself on stage, right? Yeah, so I was milking cows on stage, invisible cows, that is. Everything you can imagine. So, I had firsthand experience on that. What is the relationship, Rex, from your perspective, right? And I know you and I have had these conversations, but it's fascinating how you put it in perspective. Religion or faith or spirituality, and then the energy space, right? Like they are in such coexistence, they speak to one another, but the society that we live in have labeled one way versus the other, one force versus the other. But in all sincerity, it's the same exact thing. It really all comes down to how you label it. Can you elaborate on that for us? Just because I think it'll empower people to see the greatness in everything around us, no matter what you call it.
That's a beautiful question. Or a beautiful statement for that matter. before human beings were on the planet, things happened. There were lightning strikes and fires and floods and earthquakes and tornadoes and everything. And nobody said it was good or bad or right or wrong or should or shouldn't have happened. They just happened. It is what it is. And then human consciousness arose on the planet. And at some point, the teepee got blown down, or, the wagon got turned over, and people said, well, this is bad. We don't like this because now we got to build another wagon, or we have to make another teepee, or we have to do whatever. And so we learned how to judge. And that's a good thing, because you want to be able to discern. We learn oftentimes by trial and error. You stick your hand in a fire and you go, oh, hopefully you learn not to do that again, right? That's what judgment discerning is all about. Fire, not something you put your hand in. Put your food on it or whatever else, but you don't put your hand in it. So, things are. And what's happened is there's all these different expressions about consciousness, about source, about energy, and different expressions, whether it's ancient mystics, whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Taoism, Christianity, Judaism, Muslim religion, and then all the different franchises of each of those religions, whether it's a-religious like the atheist, whether it's quasi, like people will say pseudoscience is, the blend of quantum physics and this or this. It's all just descriptions. It's all just trying to describe something that's pretty much not describable. So think about this. We are, if you follow physics and you say, okay, there's the atom. The atom is made up of what? It's empty space, essentially. And we used to say, well, there were these particles in the atom. The electron was a particle. Now we say it's not even a particle. It's just a vibration, energy inside something else, which is energy, and it's all just vibrating. But it really is empty space. And they will say that there's as much space inside an atom to the entire universe between, say, planets. It's just this incredible infinite space, and very tiny. I mean, we can't conceptualize this. We can't conceptualize how something could be forever, no beginning and no end. And so we anthropomorphize things. If we're, different religions, we personify things. We make all these, and then we create rules for behavior and stuff, right? Okay.
Well, can I just, one of the things that you said, and I don't know if we caught it, if anybody caught it, the beginning of this answer, you know what you said? You said, things are, and you stopped.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, I always talk about like there's no good and bad, there only is. It's only your perception that makes it. Could you please double down on that statement? Because I think that statement will eliminate racism, hatred, negativity, a whole lot, just by saying, hey, things are. Can you please elaborate on that for us?
I hope so. I hope I can. Yeah, it's so fascinating. And my point being that it's this empty space that we're talking about is consciousness, it's energy. And everything is energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. It is equally distributed here and now, then and there, everywhere. It's just everything is present. So there's no space that's actually empty, because all space has a presence. It has consciousness. Between the trees, what we say is, well, there's nothing between the trees. No, there's immense space between. Early thought leaders called it ether because they didn't know what to call it. They didn't know what the answer was. So there's all descriptions for these things. We may never intellectually with our brains understand it all, but that doesn't mean that we can't interact with it. Like electricity, we don't understand, and yet we use it, right? Gravity, we can't figure out how it came to be, but we describe it and we interact with it. We are consciousness. We are the same energy. There's no difference. There's no difference between a rock and a bagel and me and you and the sky and a tree and what we call God and what we call a dog or a plant. We are all comprised of the same stuff. Now, even in our own sphere on this globe, for example, we're made up of hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen and carbon, which is the same building blocks of the universe. And Neil deGrasse Tyson would say, you are the universe for that very reason. There's no difference between what you're comprised of and anything else is comprised of. So how could there be racism? We're one species. We're one organism. Not only that, but consider this for a second. In this this gas enclosed bubble that we're in, everything respirates. We don't know about rocks or bricks maybe, but the trees, the plants, the animals, you and I, we all inhale and we exhale. We all breathe. The universe breathes in and breathes out. There's cycles. The waves go in, the waves come out. There's the lunar, it's so immense. And yet we are all that. And you know what we do? Here's my analogy for it. It's imperfect, totally imperfect, but understand it. Imagine that the only thing that exists is a mirror, and of course a surface that I can drop the mirror on. But pretend that for the sake of the discussion, it's just this mirror, and we break the mirror, and there's all these tiny little shards, millions, billions of shards of glass and dust and specks, right? That's you and me. We're all now think we're separate. But what are we? We are all still the mirror. We're still reflective. We're not less the mirror because we're broken into millions of parts. We're still the mirror. And you know what? We reflect each other. So when I look at you, you look at me, we're a reflection of each other. What's happened is because we have the ability to judge and because we have society, we've grown up where now there's lots of people. We have started to make judgments about what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, who should we include, who should we exclude. And sadly, we don't understand we're all the same source. We're all one. There's no difference between a black person, a white person, a yellow person, a red person, a Jew, a Gentile, a Muslim, a trans person, a straight person, a gay. I mean, we're all energy. We're source, we're consciousness. And to me, that's just so incredible. It's just so amazing that we would ever pursue anything other than the highest form of understanding or the most kind form or generous form of uplifting and edifying each and every one of us. But sadly, as is with anything, with a battery, you have a positive and negative pole on a battery. You don't say it's good or bad.
Right.
But we think of positive and negative as good or bad. There are the calamities that happen in the world today that are caused by humans, which at one time there weren't humans on the planet, and that are caused by non-humans, a meteor and whatever. And if it takes the judgment out of it, it's all just is. It's not bad. It's not negative. It's just what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is if you say these things are bad and you try and fight them, you put energy into them, and it seems that you perpetuate them. What you resist, you actually persist. You magnify. It's like taking a magnifying glass and holding it over a piece of paper on the sidewalk. On the other hand, if you celebrate them and love them and give positive energy to them, instead of it being a problem, it's a gift. Everything is a gift.
Right. It reminds me of that flower, someone speaking life into a flower and that flower starts to bloom. Yeah. And they did that study and the flower, someone talking negative to the flower dies. And so again, that's just how this world works. It is. And positivity is the strongest force out there.
Let me, Debbie, I know you want to chime in on all things energy.
Yeah, I just love this because I actually was with a client about an hour ago. And one of the things we were talking about it just is. And there's so many things that connect, right? So our brain, and then we have that lovely thing as human, which is called expectations. And we put expectations out there along with judgments, and it completely distorts that it just is. And I was talking to them about energy and how the goal is to vibrate at a higher level. My goal, I'm actually involved with a project called the Love Tower, and it's about energy. And it's about vibrating at that level of energy. And there actually is it's called the miracle note. I bet you know this, Rex. Love is called the miracle note. And the frequency is 528 HZs, which I don't even know what that stands for. hurts, but that, all of that it's factual, right? And so we're all one. And when you feel that oneness and you vibrate at that frequency, then there's no separation. And what we've done is cause separation, right? Our judgments and our expectations, it has simply caused separation. So by striving to vibrate at that energy level, for me, it's the love level, then there's no longer any separation. So I can walk out into the middle of a hurricane. And by the way, I've done so living in Florida. And am I excited that there's a hurricane coming through and that I might lose my house? I'm not, but it's a hurricane. End of story, right? So I don't know, Rex, like this is just so exciting to me. This is where my brain goes. These are the things that I like to study. Well, all of us here do.
We do.
Yeah, and Debbie just solved like something that everybody in the world has been wanting to know. If there's a tornado or a hurricane coming through Florida every year, multiple times a year, why do people stay? Because it just is. Thanks, Debbie. You just answered that question for the whole world. Why do these Florida people keep moving in, rebuilding their home, getting it turned down, rebuild a home? Thank you. I've been trying to figure that my whole life.
But the beautiful thing about that is that, when the cameras show up and they start interviewing people after the aftermath of some of these things, one person or a number of people are crying and wailing and saying, well, we've lost everything and we'll never be able to survive this because everything is gone. And another person goes, yeah, it was just crap anyways. I'm glad it's gone. And another person goes, I'm going to rebuild,
Yeah, I had insurance.
And again, it's always that perspective, Rex, right? And it's that thought. And it's not to say that some of the stuff isn't painful. It is.
Right.
I've got a lot of friends in Ian that it's a mess. And let's be honest, they're standing there going, where do I go? But the great news is that we're still breathing and we still have love and we're still part of everything. Yep. So we can rise up. We may always rise up.
Debbie, you reminded me with your points, and we got about a minute and a half before we do a quick commercial break. But for Debbie, you ever see white cattle, like in Lion King, where Simba is stuck and there's all that cattle running, right? So that animal itself. So the reason they run all the time, they cannot survive. They can't live under storms and thunderstorms. It just messes with their living and livelihood and mental. So they freak out. But here's what they do. They always run towards the next pile of clouds that they think this is an actual storm. Now you may say, well, why would they do that? Because they understand enough that that's where the storm is. And if we go to it, we control the speed of how fast we get in and how fast we get out, and we're on the other side. Versus which direction is going to go. I'm just going to stay here and wait for it. So it's so fascinating that many people would sit and wait for things to go wrong. Oh, the election, we'll see what's going to happen. I see yesterday, I've seen so many people post about the election, so many negativity. I've seen people that they're like, oh, they're coaches and law of attraction gurus, and all they're talking about is all this negativity and, Republican versus Democrat. I'm like, bro, left wing, right wing belongs to the same old bird. Like, just
killing me, man. I saw some stuff too, man. Like people you highly respect, and you just like, really, dude.
What are you doing? That's right. Like I thought you were all about that positivity. What are you doing being divisive? Yeah. Anyways, but listen, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come to the second half of this show. And man, brace yourself because we're gonna dig even more with the one and only Rex Ryan. Hang tight.
Hey there, my name is Elizabeth Cousins, CEO and founder of Dreamable, a movement that allows you to dream big and live big. Whether that's to start a business, to develop a nonprofit, or to create that total financial freedom that you desire for you and your family, Dreamable's got you. We host a unifying entrepreneurial academy, and we've partnered up with strategic partners and companies to give you the tools and resources to make a difference. Starting with your mindset, to overcoming limiting beliefs, to positioning you within our platforms, plus providing you with live and on-demand hands-on practical training. Platforms like I Am Dreamable, an entrepreneurial community to start, grow, and scale a business. where you'll receive 3 new modules a month on the most practical business processes that creates millions of dollars in revenue. Dreamable Financial Education Partners to make your money work for you. A public relations platform to get you featured within 27 national publications, including the New York Weekly and the Los Angeles Tribune. And work with me directly, the DEO herself, aka Dreamable Executive Officer. Visit me today at dreamablebyelizabeth.com. And remember, keep on dreaming because you never know, they may just come true.
Let's drop some clue bombs to the one and only Elizabeth Cousins, the DEO herself. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So welcome back to another episode of Your Strategic Partner Show with yours truly, Ali Midawi, Debbie Peltola Salmons, Sequoia Carlton, Elizabeth Cousins, and our honorable guest, the one and only Rex Sikes. Rex, let's dig into your book. And I know you have so many things that you've done. Your resume is beyond like just out of this world. And again, you have plenty of life to do. So let's talk about your book and the inspiration that has come from putting it together, because we put books because there's a purpose behind it. You know, we identify problems, we dissect them, and then we start creating a path to the solution. And with all of your background, all of your CV, your resume, what was it about this specific book that you felt this has to go out to the masses?
Oh, cool. Very cool. But first, before we go there, powerful commercial, Elizabeth. Wow. Truly, making it happen all around the world. That is amazing. And thank you for that. Regarding the book, I mean, it's for this I was born. My mission from early on has been to be a seeker, to find out what works and what I can do to transform myself, and then to share it, and I guess, it's like going back to the bagel thing or, a movie. If you find something really cool, you want to give it away. You want to go, hey, check this out. You want your people around you to be enthused and excited. I wrote Life on Your Terms because most people aren't living life on their terms. When I came into my power, I was around 25 years old. And I realized at one point after going through calamity that I talk about in the book, but that I was alive. I had made it through this thing. I literally, after a crisis, a series of them, locked myself in my apartment for more than 6 weeks, but I say 6 weeks, and sat in a chair, and I did everything I could. I hypnotized myself. I meditated. I did affirmations. And during this process, I discovered something that blew me away. And I've been sharing it ever since. I call it directed questions. And what it was when I was in the depths of my sorrow and my grief, my anger and my hostility toward the world, and why did this happen to me, and how could I have let this happen, and why did I suck, and why was the world and everything against me? I suddenly realized that in about 3 weeks into sitting in the chair and going through this, that I didn't want to know those answers. What difference did it make why it happened? It happened. What could I do about it is what I wanted to do. Yes. I had lost all of my friends. I had destroyed a career. I'd lost all my money. I mean, I was just devastated. And what I wanted to, I would go, why did this happen? I'm like, who cares? I wanted to know how quickly I could become friends again with the friends that I'd lost, how soon I was going to be. I didn't want to know how long something would take. I wanted to know how soon I could accomplish something that made me feel good. How quickly could I feel good about myself? How much could I win back my friends easily? And could I walk out in the world feeling confident that I was able to do things, as opposed to, how I was broken. And I had tried therapy and I'd done all this stuff and everything. And what I realized was it really has to do with directing your mind. It's where it goes. Anything can be a problem if you think of it as a problem. I certainly have been there. Other people have been there. People have done and had things far worse than I've ever had happen to happen to me. But somehow some of those people manage to get through them, and it all has to do with what they say to themselves. Going back to what Sequoia would say, and Sequoia, and the attitude. And so in the early 70s, what I discovered was, at that time there was very little research on placebo or visualization or self-talk or anything. But Travis Air Force Base did a study with cancer patients that said that attitude was the number one predictor for success. The attitude toward the treatment was the number one predictor for success of the treatment. And I started looking into that and started researching it, and I realized, oh my God, this is what I'd gone through. I had a really bad attitude. And what I did inside this room was I began to change my attitude. I began to ask different questions. I began to direct my mind in a different way so that I could begin to claim my life back. And when I truly came into power is when I came out of the room, and was back in the world. And I went, this is my playground. This is my opportunity. I'm on this planet. This time, maybe I've been here thousands of times. Who cares? I'm here this time. What do I want my life to be like? What do I want to be doing in life? And I realized I wanted to play. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to love. I wanted to contribute. And I lived in Los Angeles, and I said, I own this world and I own this town. And I would go around and I tell people I own LA, and people go, what?
Yeah.
That's egotistical. I go, no. I own owners. I have co-owners. I mean, I'm not, sitting in people's backyards, but it was, I belong here. This is why I am here, is to go through everything I've gone through, good, bad, right, wrong. It's a gift to me. And what happens for a lot of people is that, going back to the judgment thing, is we start saying, this happened to me, and then I've survived it. They drag that around for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they never let it go.
Yes.
And so instead of living fully and having life on their terms, they're living on other people's terms. They're living on their captors' terms, their abusers' terms, their whatever it might be.
Exactly.
And so I wrote the book to share that, there's an easy, fun, and delightful way to get through life. And here's when I was a kid, my family would take me traveling to see relatives. And so they said, we're going to go to Texas, or we're going to go to New York, or we're going to go here, or we're going to go there. And I'm going to come back to that in a second, but all of the people on this stage, in this virtual stage, and I'm sure people in the watching, have known someone who's done really, really, really well for themselves. Could be an artist, could be a financial person, could be somebody in medicine, could be whatever, right? But they've done really, really, really well. They have everything they could ever have in life, but they're not happy. I've been called in to consult, and I've called in to help billionaires and millionaires over and over and over again, because they go, look at everything I have. I built this empire. I have these homes, these cars. Oh my God, I did all this. And yet I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I feel horrible inside. What's going on? And what it is people think that if they get power or money or fame or prestige or something, that's going to solve who they are. Well, what occurred to me when I was looking back on my childhood and these trips is I wanted to get, we were going to go to Texas. And all the while we're on the way to Texas, I'd be going, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Yes.
How much longer? It's almost universal.
We've all done it.
We've all done it, right? And I didn't enjoy the journey. So the entire time getting there, people used to say, because I travel, I think, do you like traveling? I say, I hate traveling. I like being there, but I hate traveling. I don't want to get on a plane. I don't want to get on a train. I don't want to get on a bus. I don't want to get in a cab. I don't want to do it. I hate it. Well, I later realized that it was harder to live life hating traveling if you had to travel. It was fine if I were in Florida or in Nice or in Italy or in Spain or wherever, but getting there sucked. And this is the problem that most people live with, is that the journey isn't enjoyable and the destination is what they put all their stock in. And if they get to the destination and it isn't what they expect, then the journey and the destination suck.
Yeah.
But if the journey is ecstatic and wonderful and playful and delightful and filled with love and filled with all goodness, and it's your playground and you dance and you sing and everything is good about it, then it doesn't matter if you get to your destination. A lot of people die on the way to their destination. So why not die being fulfilled rather than dying being empty? And it was like,
slap in the head.
Right.
I have a picture on my wall that says, "The joy is in the journey."
Yeah.
That's right.
That's where it's at.
It's
Very
so
much so.
crazy that so many people miss that. Like, it's so much stuff that's going on in your life right now. And of course, based on that, they base their life on that. And it's like, life is too short to be worried about the now, what's happening now, because tomorrow there'll be something else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so crazy. But anyways, I digress.
And you
Let's give
can
it back to
find joy in the midst of anything.
100%. It
Yeah.
goes back to
Right.
it goes back to there just are, right? Like we
Yes.
were talking
Yes.
about earlier.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna again answer your question about why I wrote the book, because it's about simple, easy, fun things that you can do to recapture the joy of the journey and make it deliriously exciting, so that however you go through life, you go through it well. You go through it with
Yes.
fun. You live it on your terms, not on other terms. But I want to go back a bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And that is this.
Take your time.
Something good coming.
We need we need to just celebrate everything. Now, I'm not here to push a religion or an agenda. And there's this thought, the saying, things happen for you, not to you. Maybe they don't. I mean, maybe that's a lie, right? Maybe it's not true. But if you adopt that lie as a useful lie, as a guiding principle, as something, as a reframe to help you get through life, and then you start to look at the things that happen to you and say, you know what, that's not happening to me, it's happening for me, then the question becomes is, what can I learn from it? What can I benefit from it? I hate the phrase, you either win or you learn. Because I go, if you're learning, you're winning. It's not either or.
It's end.
Yes.
It's all good. It's all good if you understand that it can be all good. Even the hardship, the darkness of the night is good. The waves go out. That's good. And then they come back in. The seasons change. That's good. But if you don't like the cold, you go, well, shit, winter's coming. So it's a judgment on things. If you celebrate everything, and here's the important thing. Here's really important thing. Because it's about learning to direct your mind. I call the mindset master and the attitude doctor. What is the first thoughts that you think when you wake up in the morning? It's crucial because it sets the tone for your day. Very first thought, you either go, oh shit, that's another, sorry for my thing.
No. Listen, Mr. Sykes. Shit. I said it, shit. Go for it.
But I mean, you go, shit, I got this day ahead of me, or oh my God, I need my coffee or whatever. That sets the tone for the day, right? Now, anyone can have a thought. Something happens and you go, oh shoot, this sucks. I don't like it. That's not so bad. It's what you do next that really matters. You go down the rabbit hole of negativity going, oh my God, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't know how I'm going to get out of it, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and this is going to cost me a fortune. Oh my God, what am I going to throw? Oh, and you go down that negative rabbit hole rather than going, oh my God, what an opportunity. This is an adventure. Indiana Jones, there were snakes and people he had to battle and the girl and the good times, and an adventure has all sorts of stuff in it. It's
different
not
segments.
Just, if it were just good, it'd get boring. It's like a roller coaster goes like this for a reason. So it's what happens after the initial, thought. So if the person loses their home, if they go, oh my God, I've lost my home, that's fine.
Yes.
But then what do they do next is the crucial part, because that's what's going to determine where they are. Now, lastly, think of a piano. Every single note on the piano is a different key, right? There's low notes and high notes. And what do you do when you strike the key? What happens? They vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
Some are high vibes and some are low vibes, right? But they're all notes. They're all vibrations. The question becomes is, where are you vibrating? Are you vibrating low or are you vibrating high? Because it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what it does, but what I'm getting at, the point is where's your energy going? Is it going into high vibe and joy and peace and compassion and love and helping and building and edifying and uplifting? I say, speak only to bless, heal, prosper, edify, uplift, inspire, motivate, transform, and transcend. Because to do anything else is less than that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Elizabeth, does this conversation sound familiar? Elizabeth, not just Elizabeth. I think most of us in this panel, we've had an interesting 90 days, to say the least, right? And you know, I have the privilege to work directly with Elizabeth on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, there's a lot of punches that have been thrown her way over the last couple of months. And, you know, I find her saying things like, you know, I just don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow and how we're going to figure this thing out. And then here's me. Let's take it one day at a time. Today's a good day. We're gonna figure it out, right? Like so.
Yeah.
So as you're talking, I can see Elizabeth having that wide smile. Like I think he's talking to me right now, which is fantastic. You know. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You can create your amazing results and live on your terms. Amazing results. And here are some of the things that you should expect to be working on when you cop this book today. RexSikes.com. Develop a champion mindset, activate a winner's attitude, live victoriously, free yourself of limiting beliefs, stop procrastinating, conquer doubt, fear, and insecurity. Gosh knows so many of us need to help with that. Become powerfully confident, generate vibrant energy, thrive, feel happy, be stress-free, skyrocket love, money, and success. I think love means romance and sex. For those of you who like both, you can hook that up too. Create your best life ever and much, much more. So make sure you get that book today, RexSikes.com. And anywhere really you buy books from, Amazon, just put it on Google and literally you can go ahead and get it. Just make sure you get it from official retailers, not some bootleggers, because I know there's plenty of those, and I learned it the hard way from my own books. But in any case, that was fabulous. I want to go to speaking to and for and with Elizabeth Cousins. Elizabeth Cousins usually brings us up to date with some of the things that are going on in the world with the news. Elizabeth, what you got for us today?
Oh yeah, first I feel so uplifted. Yeah, I really appreciate this interview. I really enjoyed it. I just typed in the website to get your book, so you can expect that. So to the news, I just wanted to let you all know, because I used to use Chegg, and Chegg is a education tech giant, and they actually they've had security breaches of millions of customers. They actually help students with their coursework, learning it, and they help them get the required materials that they need for their coursework. And they allegedly has had this problem since 2017. So despite them having this problem for security breaches, that it's keep happening. So that's why the FTC went after them. Also, if you're in the crypto world, you probably heard of Binance and the FTX, which is a crypto platform. They were talking up a deal and that went sour. And after that, the tokens plunged. So the reason why is because the CEO told everyone that the company needs a cash injection or they're going to file for bankruptcy. So I just wanted to share with you, that's the reason why, in case you didn't know. And we all know that there were midterm elections and the stocks went down, and there could be results in the upcoming weeks and days. But you know what? We got you here at Dreamable. If we can help you make from your phone, we can help you go against this recession. You don't need to have a recession in your personal life. We just spoke to Rex Sikes. You can have life on your terms. Back to you, partners.
All right. You're muted, Ali.
Somebody give me my mug. I just earned a mug. Yeah, I love Rex Sikes every time you go with that. But let me tell you, man, that was powerful, short and sweet. I feel like we just got traffic and weather report in under 3 minutes. You are amazing, Elizabeth. You know what's funny? It's actually talked about now, for those of you who are crypto nerds, it is expected to may even drop under 2013 prices, talking about like $7,000, $6,000 crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum is supposed to lose $1,000 to $1,500. Now, I am not a trader or an educator. Do not take my word for it. I'm just sharing with you what I have heard. I got to put a disclaimer before somebody comes after Elizabeth. So here's the thing. Make sure you stay on and make sure that you have access to the Dreamable platform so you can stay up to speed with everything that is going on. That was spot on, powerful, and right to the point. And I'm so grateful for you, Elizabeth, for sharing that information with us. All right, let's keep it going. And we're going to go next to the one and only Debbie Peltola Salmons, who is going to be sharing with us some pointers on how you can live life in balance. And boy, after this interview, I think she's all charged up. Take it away, sis.
I am all fired up, and I'm going to try to do this fast. I'm going to talk fast because, I got a lot of info, because first of all, what does balancing your life mean, right? Because it's so important. So here's the deal, you guys. It's when we strike a balance between all different aspects in our life: social, physical, spiritual, economic, mental, right? Reaching balance, though, it's a learning process. And look what we're talking about tonight. At times, you may tip the balance too much in one direction and have to find your footing again. I know I've been there. But also understand that your personal balance will be unique to you, and your challenges to keep that balance will be unique to you. So I'm going to give you guys some quick suggestions on how to find and keep your balance in your life. First and foremost, build a healthy self-esteem. And listen, self-esteem is more than just seeing your good qualities. It's also being able to look at your weaknesses, accept them, and collaborate with others, right? So, listen, I really love tennis. I am not a good enough tennis player to, make a living at it. But guess what that doesn't do? It doesn't stop me from liking to play tennis, right? So that's your first thing. Work on your self-esteem. Second one, and this was a hard one for me. You have to be able to receive as well as give. Many of us confuse, like, when we have a realistic view of ourselves as like conceit or arrogance. It's not. If you have trouble accepting kindness from other people, start just accepting compliments. How many of you, if somebody says, oh, especially women, hey, I love your hair. Well, yeah, but no. Just say thank you.
Exactly.
Accept the compliment, right? The third thing, create positive relationships as a parent or with your family. Work on building those relationships. Learn how to value each other and everybody's different skills and abilities, right? Make time for your family. Ali and Takoya, we all talk about this. Schedule in time for them, for serious stuff and fun stuff. This one I think is really important, and I often think that it's overlooked. Make friends who count, right? Friends help you understand that you're not alone. They help you by sharing your ups and your downs. They help you get outside of your box that you're in, because we all live in our own little box, and we have to get outside of that. Another thing is to figure out your priorities. What are your priorities? Get off of social media for that. And I don't have TV. I know Ali doesn't. Commercials, everything. They're trying to tell us what we need. No, you get to know yourself, figure out your priorities and what you need. Also, next, get involved. Get involved in your community. Get involved in things that really matter to you. It gives you a feeling of purpose and satisfaction, so that you understand that you do make a difference, no matter how big or how small your efforts are. Learn to manage your stress effectively. We all get it. We all have stress. But like Rex was saying, you can have something stressful hit you. It's how you deal with it, what that next step is, that determines your attitude. So pay attention to that. Next, cope with the challenges that you have. Listen, every single one of us would like to live happily ever after, but there's always going to be always challenges in our lives. So be flexible and learn ways to cope with these. And as we said, even the hardest things, they just are, right? And that brings us into dealing with your emotions. You've got to find safe, constructive ways to express and share. You don't want to squash them and ignore them, but there are healthy ways. to work on that. And the last one is to have a spirituality that's all your own. Learn to be at peace with yourself. Get to know who you are, what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, and learn to balance what you are able to change and some of those things that you can't. I would like to be 5'7". I can't change that, right? Get to know and trust your inner self. And a shameless plug, but that is part of what we do here with Dreamable, with I Am Dreamable, right? We train on these items and we share and we're authentic. And you'll hear me share my journey. It has not all been sunshine and unicorns in my life, but my attitude towards that is what determines the joy that I have, no matter what. So find the balance that works for you in your life. And I love you guys. Back to you guys, partners.
Love it, love it, love it. That was powerful beyond imagination. I know you were going to bring the heat as you always do. And speaking of heat, speaking of fire, speaking of energy, you know, if you need that motivation, you got to go down to North Carolina, or you can just keep it right here with us in the virtual space in your strategic partner show, the one and only Takoya Carlton with a motivational moment. Take it away, partner.
Hey, what's going on, fam? Takoya Carlton here. And of course, it's a motivational moment. And I'm going to actually, based on what we've talked or spoke about tonight, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to cover, we spoke about, right? We kind of had that conversation. So let me just kind of read you something that I just recently posted. And it really coincides with what we just went over, right? So if you pay attention to the patterns in your life, you'll realize everything always works out, doesn't it? It seems like if we think about it, guys, they said, don't worry about something. If it's not going to affect you from 5 years from now, don't worry about it, right? Everything always takes you to a greater destination. So again, as we're going through all this, the trials, the tribulations, the storms, all those things, they're just preparing us for greatness. They're preparing us for the very thing that we've asked for, that we've prayed for. So I'm asking you, as you're going through your journey, even if it's in your mind at that time, at the worst time, things are going just wrong for you. You think that, you know, the house note is due, the car note is due, my family's not acting right, me and my husband are on the same page. All those things, they matter at this moment, but understand, we just got to get up the next day. We got to go get up the next day, the next day, the next day after that. And of course, we got to continue to move forward. So, you know, here's the thing, guys, you always grow, and things you think you can't survive, you somehow divinely make it through. That's life. Always remember that. And so again, as you continue on your journey, guys, understand that again, everything won't work out for you, right? But it always does. Isn't that crazy how it's always a second, you know, chance for you? So things may not be working for you at this moment, but as long as you don't quit, as long as you don't stop, as long as you continue to move forward, it always does. See, the problem is with most folks, again, they're finding themselves in a situation and they think, woe is me. And hey, it never get better. I don't have anybody supporting me. I don't have, you know, the right support system or whatever have you. But guys, understand, sometimes you have to be your own support system. You can't just depend on everybody to always be there for you. Again, if you can't depend on you, then I don't know what to do, right? And so again, that's where we have to start. You know, again, Debbie said it too as well. Again, you got to depend on you. You've got to find yourself. That's when you start to unplug. You stop listening to all the friends, all of the conversations, all the sidebars, all that stuff. And you start to get to know you. And you start to understand that I am somebody, that I am positive, that I can do what I say I can do. And I'm going to do it. See, that's the thing, guys. We could talk about all the training. We could talk about getting on these different you know, shows like this, or going and hiring a mentor, all this stuff. We could talk about all the coaches. But until you go out and act upon what it is that you're learning, that you're hearing, that you're listening to, you're gonna always seem to be going backwards. You're gonna always seem to be standing in the same place. So again, I'm encouraging you to understand this, guys, as you listen to Rex, Ali, Debbie, Elizabeth, as you listen to all of us guys, don't just listen with the ear, listen with the mindset of doing, because it's the doing that changes things. Not the listening, not the sitting, it's the doing that changes the situation. So with that, guys, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk about bringing that love, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up to Takoya Carlton. And just for the record, Takoya Carlton, you are working on some amazing stuff. You want to take 30 seconds and plug some of the things that you are working on real quick, because I know you got some new things happening. And he earned a mug on mute. Go for it.
All right, so guys, here's the thing. You guys see me tinkering around this about, starting a coaching program, showing people how to start the businesses, build the business, scale the businesses. Well, guess what? Now we're actually putting it into fruition right now. We're putting all the, the places, the sticks, the rocks, the bricks, all that stuff is coming into place. We've got a done for you type business now where we're going to be able to help entrepreneurs, individuals, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's a home-based business, we're going to be able to help you out to take your business to the next level. So again, if you're looking for website services, you're looking for, again, just how to stuff, we've got it prepared for you. So again, if you're a business owner, we got it all in one place where you can go to get your websites done, your logos done, your video, your social media management, all of it is coming here today. It's here right now, actually. And if you notice on any of my social media platform guide, you see there's a change there. We're starting to post differently. We're just not going to put the memes on all the time anymore. You can actually see this mug right here. I know you're going to be like, man, I'm tired of that mug. But again, I'm going to be showing it to you as much as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and share all the love with you guys every single day, as much information as I can. Because again, I'm not just here for our success. I'm here for your success. And so again, if I can do that for you, that is my plum, please, and pleasure. And I look forward to doing that. So again, with that, Mr. Ali Madawi, we send it back to you, sir.
Love it. Elizabeth Cousins, we got an event in about a week or so. Can you plug and tell us a little bit about what should we expect in that fun event on that Saturday?
Oh, yes. So we've added so many incredible things, including people who have attached their name to Dreamable, which we want to introduce you to, but you have to be there to find out. So they're going to share with you a little value so that you can see what's coming. It's going to be a milestone in Dreamable. So it's going to be next Saturday, November 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I'll see you there.
Right on. Yeah. Debbie and yours truly, we have an event this Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are looking to get into the financial technology, all things trading, I know for a fact that I'm spearheading that project. Debbie, what should you let somebody know about your experience in a very short period of time that you got into the financial technology, and why should anybody consider that right now? And any plugs for this Saturday?
Yeah, great stuff. Well, first and foremost, we know people should consider it because of the state of the economy, right? And the state of the world economy. So we have to look outside of our traditional boxes at different things. And, a lot of financial things scare people, right? And with good reason. There's a lot of things that you've got to do your due diligence out there, for sure. But when you do your due diligence and you connect with people that really have integrity and great motives, there are skills out there that you can learn that can literally change your life from, a little bit of a change to a big change. And I always, my dad used to say, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yes, you can. And so for me, it's a lifelong learning. So I say to people, if you've ever even considered wanting to learn something different about finances in the financial markets, then come check us out. And I don't know the time on that, Ali, so you'll have to.
12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll make sure we drop all the information in the comments. And there is a United States exclusive community that is being built right now for financial education. Definitely. Yes. We'll put the group link in the comments as well. Now, let's get back to the one and only Rex Sikes. Mr. Sikes, let's talk about some final thoughts and remarks. And I want to just tickle your brain with this question, and I hope that I know we have a little bit of time until we wrap it up, but there are, let me give you a specific circumstance. I have a gentleman that I've been working with for just about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks tops. I would say, if I were to exaggerate the time. And I had a conversation with him yesterday, and he was feeling like everything is piling up on his head, everything you could imagine, right? marital situation that's kind of getting a little sour, job is going upside down, money is drying out, the people that he was counting on are not supporting. And here's the statement that he said to me. Now, I addressed it and I put him where he needs to be, but you have far more wisdom, knowledge, experience, understanding of this space than I do. And as a student of yours as well, I'd love to hear your perspective on. He said, I don't understand. I've done everything you've asked of me. I wrote my gratitude book in the morning. I did my journaling at nighttime. I meditated. I worked out. I spoke affirmations. I removed commercials, TV, or all those negative things. And yet everything piled up above my head right now. What am I doing wrong, Ali? Mr. Sikes, what do you got?
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, first, before I even go there, let me say what cool offerings you all are sharing. I mean, I want to attend all of these. This is very exciting. You are so cool. I can't believe I'm here tonight. Okay, so that's
You're
cool.
too kind.
So thank you. For that gentleman, I go, beautiful. You're just where you're supposed to be. That's wonderful. The universe is serving you so well. And sadly for us, we don't accept it that way. We don't think of it that way, but it is just, this is the thing. When someone says, I'm doing everything, one of the things to consider is that the brain and the universe works by the law of conservation and the law of least energy. And what does that mean? Well, the brain is designed to do two things: keep you alive. So people say it has a negativity bias. It doesn't. It has a survival bias. So it looks for those situations in the world that could be perceived as a threat, whether they're emotional or real, or active. A tiger's going to eat you, or somebody's going to beat you up, or somebody's saying something to you. So it looks for those so that you can avoid it. That's what the brain does, And why does it do this? So that you can thrive and reproduce, right? So you can replicate. So that's where the sex comes in. That's where the fun comes in. Your brain is there so that you can have more sex, right? It's keeping you alive so that you can reproduce, or at least practice. And
it's funny how only the guys found it giggling.
The guys are like, oh yeah. But the point is that a lot of the thought leaders of today and for quite a while, do things backwards and wrong. And if you don't mind me, or if you'll indulge me for a moment, from the dawn of society, from when we went from little bands of people to tribes to little state societies and then larger states, there's always been those people who've been the ruling class and the blue bloods, so to speak, whether that's in Asia or Africa or the United States or England or wherever. We have the privileged class, and they will do anything and everything they can to keep the worker bee class the worker bee class so that they work for them. And when we had COVID, you could see this. The moment that the airline industries went, hey, our baggage handlers aren't showing up, our ticket takers aren't showing up, we're going to go bankrupt. They were afraid because the people who keep these people making money, these big corporations making money, weren't coming into work because there was a lockdown. And so there was a panic. Now, instead of paying all these people incredibly well so that they're happy and wanting to come to work, they pay, very poorly in many cases. They take their 401ks away, they take their retirement away, whatever. This is all just done to keep people down, to keep them fighting, to keep them opposed to each other, and to keep them struggling so that they never become part of that ruling or privileged class. It just is what it is. Okay. So you're either born into it here or elsewhere. You can't win the lottery and become part of it, So the question becomes for people, who do you listen to? And who do you pay to be a mentor? Who do you have as a coach? Because this is really, really important. I wouldn't go to somebody who inherited their money because they didn't come up the way you or I might have come up. I go to somebody who's made their money, however they made it, legitimately, obviously. But they've made their money, they've put in their dues or whatever, and they because they're gonna have a background similar to mine, or to yours, or to ours, so we can do something. But if they just lucked in, born with a silver spoon kind of thing, what are they going to tell you that is pertinent? Be born rich? Okay, I'll do that next time. So the point is that a lot of these people have it wrong. They'll tell you you have to struggle, you have to sacrifice, you have to risk, you have to take massive action. And the brain doesn't work that way, and the universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't take massive action to do a tornado. That just is the way things are. It doesn't take massive action to have a volcano. That's not massive action. That's the law of least energy. The brain works on the law of conservation by making your thinking and your behaviors and your feelings habitual. That's what neurowiring is. That's why we have habits and patterns. That's why we are very predictable as people, because we've been conditioned by growing up, and the conditioning process still goes on, and we accept these things and then we live from them. And it's no different than when you're driving down the street and somebody gives you the finger and you immediately go back. You react. Why? Because it's a habit. You're wired to do that. If you had choice, when somebody gave you the finger, you'd go, cool, thanks, or give them the finger or whatever, but you wouldn't just knee-jerk the response. So what we need to do is to learn that when we try all these things, the trying oftentimes is the very thing that keeps us from being what we want to be.
That's powerful.
We're overworking it. We're struggling. We're going, I can't figure it out. And the answer is no, you can't figure it out. Because you're trying to figure out what should I do? What's the next strategy or the method or the next technique or the something? Or if I've done all these things, why aren't they working? You know what? Surrender, release, let go, and go, you know what? I always land on my feet. Good is coming to me. I can't believe how lucky I am to be in this situation. I don't know how it's going to go through. I just know that I'm going to discover things about myself and about the universe that I would never otherwise get to experience or get to know. And if you have that attitude, that's the thought that happens after the first one that goes, this sucks. Because you have to move in a direction that serves you, that moves you in a way that allows you to access your power, your resources, your infinite potential and opportunity. Because otherwise you get caught up in the whole thing of, I don't know what I'm doing. And so the key is to free up. Well, again, the reason why I wrote Life on Your Terms was to say, look, it can be fun. It can be easy. It can be enjoyable. Even when there's hardship, you don't have to suffer if you know what to do. So a journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with a single step. And I say, no, it doesn't. The first step is the decision that you make to go on the journey. And then the second step is on the earth. Then the question becomes how do you want to journey? Do you want it to be a horrible journey or a delightful journey? Dog shit or diamonds is what I always say. You got a choice, dog shit or diamonds. Which do you choose? Which do you live in? Which do you live from? You could live with diamonds, but most people wallow in dog shit. Sadly, it's true. This gentleman or this woman, whoever the person is, they're at a precipice of just awesome discovery and infinite potential and something that's waiting to be revealed to them. And they could see it. They can find it. They can have it. They can enjoy it. They can delight in it. They can, and I understand because all of our conditioning is to go in the other direction. But this is really a rare and unprecedented opportunity for someone.
That's powerful. And for those of you who are watching, we've hooked you up with an additional bonus 15 minutes because usually, we stop on a dot, but we obviously had Mr. Sikes. We could not. I mean, we could probably do 3 hours straight. I've seen the man 6 days in a row, and he kept at it and on Roku TV. So, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, like all good things, we must come to an end. But this is only the beginning of a journey that we're going to have. I can promise you, we're going to have Mr. Sikes more again and again and again. Make sure you get his book today. Go to rexsikes.com. There's so many amazing, valuable information that you can have. Make sure that you connect with him on all different social media platforms. At least go on Facebook, just write Rex Sikes, and he will come up in all the different platforms that he does coexist. We are going to transform, talking about transformation and energy, we're going to transform this into an edited podcast format, audio format. It will also be blasted to our email list. And as we speak, we are broadcasting on multiple groups, on different Facebook channels, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and all the whatnot. So I am so grateful for you, Mr. Sikes, for giving us and gifting us your generous time, and the information is absolutely incredible. And I'm just in awe that we got to make this happen. And with your permission, I'd love to do it again and again and again and again. For everybody else, it's a brand new Ali. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've taken 6 weeks to work on me. I don't think I had mental health issues, but I started feeling like I was getting a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. I went to the doctor today. If you can't tell, I got like a little, it looks like a sty. But they wanted to reevaluate, and they did scanning and all these different things. They said that is purely stress. When you sleep, your mind is still functional, and I'm thinking about things that I just should be like, screw it. I was gonna say a bad word, but let me keep it clean. Just let it go, let it slide.
right.
Stop worrying about what you shouldn't be worrying about. And I know this, but I needed a doctor, I needed a spiritual mentor, and I needed business mentors to remind me, you need to get back to what you are, the fun, cool dude who just likes to have a good time, and business is just part of your life. It's putting a lot of pressure on myself. My wife and we were talking, and I said to her, I'm tired of having, companies and people taking advantage of me. I've had over the 15 years, many situations that companies would just have me build them to 100 million and so on and so forth. And then they'll sell without telling us an exit strategy and whatnot. And we end up, or just people who would literally book a coaching session or work with us and, like say, oh, I'm here just for free food. I'm here just to get the information from you and not pay, or whatever the case may be. I allowed that to happen. My wife goes like, no one took advantage of you, baby. You did it. You put yourself in their table and you said, hey, I brought all the food and you didn't eat and you just walked right out the door. It's you. You have to make a change. So I want to say it out loud because it's part of my healing. I will never, ever put myself in a position that I hurt myself, my mindset, my spirituality, my well-being. I love people, and I will always and forever love people, but I have to love myself first. I have to honor myself. I have to do what's right for me in order to do what's right for you. So for those, I had one person who got upset with me last week because they scheduled a session in my Calendly. And in my Calendly, I have a questionnaire, and the last question asks directly, what is your allocated budget, assuming we can change your life? And the answer was, I don't have a job and I have no money saved up. So my virtual assistant replied to that person, if you have no job and you have no money, why are you trying to meet about a business question on how to start a business? It makes no sense. It's probably best that you use these 300 free videos on YouTube, Medali, and come. Can you guys hear me okay? I just got a little that.
Yeah, you're chopping a little bit. You're a little chopping.
You're back. You're back.
Those are those forces that don't want me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. So for that individual who got upset that their appointment got canceled, you're asking to come to my restaurant, walk into my kitchen, eat all of my food, and walk right out. And it was a wake-up call when I had somebody that I've worked with 3 different occasions within a couple of weeks, and they scheduled freebie. And then when I asked, I'm like, hey, can I ask you a question? Why do you keep scheduling these sessions, but we never do business together? And the answer was, I just wanted to get the free information out of you, and you were willing to give it, like flat out to my face.
Wow.
And I was like, well, thank you. You taught me something about myself. I am going to always be this nice, cool guy. I am the happiest cat you will ever have in your corner. But I have to respect myself in order to be respected. I have to honor myself in order to honor you. I have to love myself in order to love you. So I'm breaking all rules, and I love me more than you can ever imagine. And that will automatically transcend right onto your love. And so with that, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to work on myself for 6 weeks. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. No, I am not leaving. Give me the lights.
man.
Let's do one last time. Around the world, starting with Debbie, Tokoyo, Elizabeth, and our special guest. Any final word, and then we're going to wrap it away.
Yeah, I just want to thank Rex immensely for being here. Absolutely so much value. And thank you for everybody that's watching. And just remember, we tell you this all the time. but it's right here. It all begins right here. And you can have joy in the journey no matter what is going on around you. Takoya.
Awesome. Tokoyo.
Good stuff. To Coy Carlton here. And of course, listen, guys, all I got to say is when the lights go out, the show's not over.
Literally.
I think
Elizabeth.
it's just beginning.
Thank you, Rex, for these grateful reminders. And they've changed my life just to hear them again, because sometimes you think you know them or you just need to be reminded. And I hope it encouraged someone out there. And I hope it did, and I'm pretty sure it did. It was very inspiring, and it's gonna allow me to take action. And Rex, I'm getting your book. Thank you.
And of course, our guest of honor, your final remarks, sir.
Well, thank you. I can't tell you how honored I am to be with Elizabeth and Tokoyo and Debbie and you, Ali. And Ali, you have an incredible wife. She is wise beyond her years. So that was awesome.
And she's hot.
And she's hot. And so that's awesome. But no, I am humbled. I am honored. I'm privileged to be here. And I learned from you. And I wow, yeah, let's do it again, on and off camera. You know, I'm just excited and thrilled. And with that, I would say to the people watching, yeah, you know what? It is what happens here. Attitude is the greatest predictor of success in all areas of your life. I encourage you, yes, get my book. Go to rexsikes.com. It'll tell you how to get it, or you can go anywhere and ask for it. But also, you know, do yourself a favor, get the Attitude Activator. The Attitude Activator is, you talk about hypnosis, it's a relaxation. You know, you listen to headphones, put it on and use it. It'll help that self-talk. It'll transform things. It'll teach you a process that you can use to surprise and delight yourself in so many different ways. So the Attitude Activator, all available at rexsikes.com. I appreciate the opportunity. And I can't wait until we do something again, like I said, on or off camera. I just, to be in the presence of you is to be, each of you is to be in the presence of high vibe, wonderful, positive energy. And I just want to soak it up too.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, we love you and appreciate you. Hey, everybody. Tell them peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace.